Hi, Carly and Kylie. So I'm looking at your project planning sheet. It was very good. You guys got a 23 out of 25. Just little minor stuff that you lost points on. I'll show you. But your point of view statement, I want you to fix because it looks to me like maybe you didn't mean this word. I'm not sure if you did. The wetland located in Thailand need to find a way. Did you mean something else? Maybe women located in Thailand and Swaziland need to find a way to purify their water. I think if you change it to whatever you meant to write there, it'll be better. But also, why do we need to purify the water? What's wrong with it? Now, you guys are doing for heavy metals, so I'm assuming there's a reason why Thailand and Swaziland have so many heavy metals in their water to begin with. This would be a good place to maybe give me just a little hint about what that is. The other thing is I'm looking at your prototype, and I understand that your idea is to sort of layer pumpkin, banana, and peanut shells, but I'm not understanding exactly how we're going to get water in here because it looks like it's going to be pretty full to me. So are you going to empty out the seeds and put a layer of banana peels, a layer of peanut shells, and then just add the water? I think I remember us talking about you just letting the water sit in there. How long would it have to sit? Do you think it would be better maybe to do some kind of filtration with it? Does it make sense maybe to make some kind of pulp out of this and mix it up? I'm having a hard time visualizing how useful it'll be to do this if we're talking about such a small structure. How long will it take before it really purifies the water? That's one of my issues. So I want you to think a little more about your prototype and maybe come up with some different ideas that you could try out. Maybe you want to try, I don't know if this makes sense, but maybe we want to try just filtering through these materials, if that's possible. I don't know. Or maybe just making this a large, somehow getting these materials into a larger container that could maybe hold more water. Something like that is what I'm thinking. I thought that this was a pretty good statement of what you're trying to do. I'm not 100% sure that you or I totally understand the science of some of these things, so we might need to go back and look at that together. So you're saying that there are chemicals in these different materials, acids, purifying molecules. I wonder what they are and how they do that. I know what carboxylic groups are, but I doubt that you do. And I kind of know what lignocellulosic materials are, but I doubt that you do. So it's always good to kind of get as much background research as we possibly can. That might be one of your next steps, is to try and find out exactly how do we think bananas, pumpkins, and peanut shells interact with heavy metals to make this work, because knowing some of that science would be a nice, impressive piece of your presentation when you finally get this whole thing together. But overall, I think that this is really good. You're saying that people are getting sick from the heavy metals. What are some of the things that happen when people are contaminated with heavy metals in their drinking water? And what about other problems with the water, or is this the only one we're really trying to solve with this system? I thought it was very professional and intelligent of you to do all these citations of the work that you did. It really shows the level of commitment that you have to the project, and I do appreciate that. I want to make sure that we are clear on what's your work and what isn't. So we might need to go back through this. So you said that, for example, you're quoting this toxic water. I guess that's a website, right? And you're saying, unfortunately, for people in Swaziland and Thailand, they don't always have access to that water. So that's where you guys pick up. Okay, I think I get that. So this invention will meet the needs of our users because at a low cost and a product you can grow can be convenient, because with family in need of clean water, these factors all make it easier. I'm not really sure that this sentence makes a lot of sense. You might want to go back and proofread that. I kind of know what you mean, though. The users can grow pumpkins, peanuts, and bananas. So we're definitely sure that we can grow all these things in both countries, right? I want to make sure of that because these are three really different plants. So I'm not really entirely sure that all three of them are going to comfortably grow in these locations. So we want to double check that. And let's see, what else did I want to say about this? Banana peels are full of acids and other purifying molecules that aren't harmful to people. Okay, so that's pretty good. This shows that one factor that consists of banana peels is full. This is another sentence that I'm not understanding the meaning of. This shows that one factor that consists of banana peels is full of acids that take away any dirt. Acids don't take away dirt exactly. Acids will chemically react with a lot of substances, changing them into something else. So I think, again, we really need to understand a little better exactly how these different materials are doing this purification. So we need to maybe do that kind of research together. And then this will help repair the goal of clean water and sanitation in these countries, because with this new technology, the water will be healthier and cleaner. Okay, pretty good. So overall, I would say that you guys have done a good job with your planning sheet. So the next step for you guys is to figure out how you're going to create and then test your prototype. So here's the question I need you to ask yourselves. So how are you guys going to measure the success of your system? However you finally decide you want to make your starting prototype, and however you want to improve it, how will you measure success? I know we talked briefly about maybe getting some kind of water testing kit. I can give you water that is contaminated with lead. I'm pretty sure I can make that for you using lead chloride. So lead chloride lead symbol is actually PB, which comes from plumbum, which is where the word plumber comes from, because plumbers used to work with lead pipes. So PB is for lead, and PbCl2, I believe, is the formula. That's chlorine, so that's lead chloride. So I can probably get you guys some water that's contaminated with lead chloride. And my guess is what you're going to want to do is come up with some kind of procedure for testing how well you're able to remove the lead from your system. So probably what we're going to want to do is find some kind of way of testing the amount of lead. Now I've done a little bit of research on this, and I'm thinking probably the best thing we can do is just to, the water after you're done attempting to purify it, what we can do is we can boil away the water and see how much of the contamination remains by weight. So what we would do is we'd add a certain amount of this chemical. It's just a white crystal. It's very pretty actually. And we'll add that to our water and we'll stir it up and get it to dissolve, and then we'll put it into your system. And then when you guys are ready to test to see if the lead has been removed, we'll distill that water, we'll boil it away, and the amount of white crystal that's left behind will give us an indication of how much was removed by your pumpkin mixture. I think that's probably a good way to go for testing the success of your pumpkin setup. I'm very excited about your project. It's a really cool, creative idea. I was reading through the website of the girl who did the project originally, and she obviously had access to much more complicated resources than we do. But that doesn't mean that you guys can't be successful with it. I would definitely read through what she did and try and understand it as much as possible, and ask me lots of questions, because I'm happy to learn about all of this stuff in order to help you guys. I want you to have a really fun, successful project. So what you want to do next is, if you want to make a couple of corrections, I know how particular you guys are. If you want to make a couple of corrections to get those 2 points back, you can do that. And then what I want you to do is start filling out an experimental template sheet, and I'll post that on my classroom so that you can open that up and start filling that in, because you're going to need to actually test your prototype. And of course, as soon as you're able to get your hands on a pumpkin, you want to start building your prototype. So I'll see you girls in class.